Always after a 6 pool, I look at the drone count. I'm like, okay, he's not 6 pooling. He's not 7 pooling. Don't think he's going to 8 pool. Well, here in the top left-hand corner of Ohana, we have from Team SCV Life, Red Zerg player up 1-0 in this best of 9. It is HyuN. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our pink Protoss player getting caught with his pants down a little bit last game. It is Total Biscuit's CranK.
TP CranK.
Yes.
Now 100% more American because Total Biscuit is on our beautiful land now here in
on American soil,
United
yes.
States. Yeah. And right now CranK is going to send out a probe really quickly, perhaps to intercept 6 Zerglings. No, he's actually sending it kind of a roundabout way so that the Overlord doesn't spot it, and perhaps any drone scout wouldn't be able to spot it either. He does, of course, want to head to the natural still to try and block that hatchery. It's just so standard now that Protoss players can actually get away without building any pylons, and it's still just going to force the Zerg's hand into getting that pool first to get Lings to defend. But has he even built the pool yet?
No, it should come up right here. So on 14, and there's drone going to the back. All right, so
yeah, CranK may have actually been able to delay that even if he was paying sharp enough attention, but that would have been a nice maneuver as well. I
actually love that HyuN did that, whether it would have worked or not at the beginning of game number 1. In a long best of scenario, you always want to do something that's going to throw your opponent off. And in this case, he started right away. So now CranK's got to be thinking every game, okay, well, is he going to cheese me this time? What ridiculous strategy is he going to come at me with? So it's really cool decision out of HyuN there, and it's always going to keep CranK on his toes.
That's right, and CranK not building a Nexus first, notably. Obviously, he did get that probe in there to scout around, so he may have actually been able to get away with a Nexus before Forge, but that's all right. He's going to get his Nexus down now, just after HyuN manages to get his first hatch down. There was no pylon block.
Well, HyuN's also really fond of doing this thing. He actually did it right there as well. He'll always send out 2 drones, one over to the third and one over to the natural, just in case there is a pylon block. He'll put down the third. So luckily for him, he was able to establish it as natural. It'll be a little bit easier to connect the creep, easier to transfer a few drones over, a little bit quicker as well. But nothing really out of the ordinary for both these guys yet. Just a photon cannon, soon to be a gateway.
Yep, and we've already broken the game length record for this series. We're at 3 minutes and 37 seconds. So well done by CranK, staying alive much longer than the previous game.
That's right.
And you know, that game was won without any damage being taken by any player.
He actually
didn't even hit anything.
Yeah.
That was the first perfect game I think I've ever seen.
Where literally nothing happened at all. Just instant GG.
No damage on either side. So CranK played a perfect game as well. He didn't take any damage.
That's right.
Yeah. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Yeah, well done. A very very peaceful game, I have to say.
I just imagine if the metagame gets to the point where that happens all the time, and we go to IPL 5 and people are just GGing in the first 3 minutes based off of the build they see at the start.
Well, Intra's not going to be every player at IPL 5.
That's true.
Sorry. Cybernetic score coming up at the front now up at the top for CranK, transferring over a few probes, and everything's looking pretty normal for him. Looks like double gas right away. Not deciding to actually, it's going to be triple gas. Never mind. This is actually a little weird. I apologize. I take back everything I just said. He actually waited on his first and second gas. Usually you'll get those just as the gateway's coming down, and he actually decided to wait on those for a little bit so we could invest back into his infrastructure a little bit better, and then put up 3 gas at the same time. So kind of crazy new stuff from CranK, and I'll be curious to see how it pans out for him.
We have no way of knowing how effective this is going to be. HyuN actually just building only macro tools up to this point. No Roachhorn, no Baneling Nest, nothing like that. I don't even know. Yeah, he hasn't even gotten an extractor yet at all. So he is just purely macroing up. He's up to 7 drones at a time building right now. Can we check out units? 31 plus another 6 on the way. So he's going to shoot ahead finally past that Chrono Boost probe assistance. But we have 1 probe on the run, another one coming up. Oh, that's actually a Zealot this time. Okay, he's going to clear the path for this probe and maybe even snag himself a Zergling kill.
Now,
nope.
HyuN is very fond of kind of an exacerbated version of what July Zerg used to do. July used to be like, okay, I'm on 2 bases, attack, 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 go, 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 go. HyuN plays very much in the style where it's very orderly. So he's like, I make drones, now I make buildings, now I make units, and I'm back to drones. So he has an incredibly orderly system about him, and he he loves to just kind of flip on the kill switch when he feels the time is right, whether that comes with drops, whether that's going to be mass muta, whether it's going to be aggressive roach play. So I expect to see something pretty aggressive out of him. Could come on tier 3 tech as well, but one way or another, when he decides to flip on that kill switch, he just goes for it.
So if other players realize this like you have, why wouldn't he just, proxy gateway him and try to kill him during the now I make drone phase? But there is a lair coming up now. Roach Warren's going to be finished in just a moment. Evolution Chamber coming up as well, so it looks like he is gearing up for that key timing, and it's going to be Roaches this time around, at least to start, and we'll see if he ends up going for that Infestation Pit shortly after lair is done or not. CranK, on the other hand, is starting to roll out Immortals, 3 more gateways on the way up. He does have a couple of Immortals ready, so if HyuN does decide to go mass Roaches, CranK is already setting up pretty nicely to defend against that.
Yeah, so this is kind of a cool build. I've been watching this from CranK, and with the 3 additional gateways coming up, pretty normal. You may look at this and say, oh, well, pretty normal 4-gate robo, but obviously the sentry count is way down, and he's much quicker into that super fast Immortal, so he can actually hit that 3 Immortal push faster than has been previously done, but he'll have a few less support units to go along with it, but it may hit at a more critical timing. We'll certainly find out what CranK wants to do with this. He could use this as a mechanism to stay safe as well.
That's true. I think if he is expecting a Roach bust, he's got the appropriate number of Immortals and Sentries out now. So maybe his plan is for HyuN to throw himself at the rocks, basically, for a little bit, and then go for a counterattack. Because right now HyuN has all the map position. He's got all the vision on the map. He's got both Xel'Naga towers under his control. He's got Overlords going in now to check things out. So he's got a Changeling even inside the base of CranK now. So HyuN has all the information. CranK doesn't really have any information, but HyuN's already committed so much to Roaches. He's making 10 at a time now. Oh, CranK is actually going to go out and meet him in the field of battle. All these Lings, if they get taken out before the Roaches are there to support, that's going to be pretty bad for HyuN. The Immortals, however, need to blast down all of these guys before the supports show up. And yeah, they actually managed to keep a lot of their actual health. A lot of sentries died there in that attack, though. So CranK needs these Immortals to really repel these Roaches, or he could be in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, that was okay for HyuN. He was able to kill 5 sentries, I think, at the loss of 2 Roaches and 20 Lings. That's pretty good for him so far, and he is starting to just produce an incredible amount of forces now. A ton of Roaches coming up, and we'll see if he just wants to commit to that quick max out that we've seen on a lot of occasions. He is unfortunately supply blocked, so needs to make a big round of Overlords here, and that'll give time for CranK to stabilize a bit.
Yeah, here come the reinforcements from CranK. I was just going to say he needs some Zealots in there from the number of Lings that we just saw in that last attack. He wasn't able to repel it very easily, but this Zealot mixture now is going to be able to help. Oh, the Warp Prism's there for the Weapons. I was wondering why I didn't see CranK build any forward pylons anywhere for a build like this, but the Warp Prism takes care of that nicely, and of course he can do some nice micro tricks with it later on as well if he manages to keep it alive. And there's no anti-air here in this army, so he can do some lifting exercises with the Immortals if he needs to later.
All right. Well, Overlord pops up at the front.
Oh,
it looks
man.
like, whoa,
HyuN
was thinking about going for this. I think he is going to. So who's going to come back first? That's the question. Or are they just going to go for an outright base trade?
The rocks are not a good target right now, CranK. You should probably commit to killing some buildings. I don't know how CranK's going to be able to survive this, actually, because he's got so many forces committed now at HyuN's third. He may need to send some probes out of the base now and start to build a nexus somewhere, because this is not looking good for his speed, basically. That's a huge amount of Roaches is going to be able to take out all of his infrastructure. I do like the wall off at the top of the main, but he's going to lose so much.
All right, so these did not seem like they're going to be very long games today,
wow.
folks. A bunch of Spine Crawlers coming up at the front, but the Immortals are already there. Honestly, those Spine Crawlers aren't going to last all that long. We'll see if they can delay for long enough, though, for HyuN to get all of his damage done. He's already taken out 1 Nexus. He's going through pretty much all of the structures over at CranK's base. Does he have any probes left? 1! Where are you at, probe? I don't know.
I think he's hiding in the main, perhaps, but I'm not sure where. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, he's going to pick him up? Yeah!
Get out of
Warp
dodge.
Prism got him, and he's still got 600 resources, so he's going to build a simulator, pick up, move out, and drop a Nexus down on the other side.
All right, and wow, CranK actually did fly through these buildings. I mean, there really wasn't many buildings. There weren't many buildings there to kill in the first place. Basically, it was a Roach Warren and a bunch of hatcheries. So HyuN does have some existing buildings. He doesn't know that this probe... Oh, wow, he did find the assimilator, though. So CranK really needs to build something like right this second.
And is he going to? Okay, yeah, he has a pylon down, so he's got a structure up at least. And as we can see, there is an extractor coming up across the map as well. Oh, but the pylon's already found, so he needs to drop down another structure in a hurry.
Oh my goodness. Did he?
Wait,
he
that's
killed
it.
He
That's
killed
it.
the pylon.
He's done.
Oh,
that was
no,
Crank's last
Crank.
structure, and HyuN is going to take the
Oh,
game
my
once again. Let me
goodness.
make sure that was actually
Yeah.
a win for HyuN. It
is.
is because there's the extractor. So
Goodness.
Crank goes down in the second game as